this action visible and create corporations that are actually optimized for how this works. What happens if you're the leader and you don't understand this, you're going to create your corporate culture by default, because everybody will pick up your social cues, your behaviors, your moral code, and you'll get a whole variety of different interpretations of how you're showing up. So part of what's emerging is that we're recognizing that these collective life forms have collective intelligence, collective conscience, and collective consciousness. And we can actually optimize the corporation so that those aspects manifest. And as a startup company lawyer, I've had several companies that got into a collective flow state, and a lot of them were Gordy's companies, where Gordy created a safe environment through his mentorship and leadership, and everybody felt safe coming to work. And one of the problems with startups, as you guys know, is that startups are always having a near-death experience, right? They're running out of money all the time, and it's hard not to be terrified when you're running a startup company, because you're always stressed out and running out of money. So how do you create an environment in your startup where people feel safe enough to stay centered to bring their best performance? And this is kind of the dynamic that is emerging, is we're beginning to understand how human beings are put together. We can change the way we lead, and we can change the way we design our companies, so that we don't guarantee that the company's going to be successful, but we can create an environment, like with the 49ers, that's optimized for best results. So I think, cover the magic of the mentor. I think what I'm going to do is stop now. I've given you a lot of information, and I don't know if you have time for a question or two, but you've been a fabulous audience, and I hope that I have given you a little bit of a glimpse of the future and have inspired you to really think about your business and corporations in a new way. So thank you.
Excellent. So let's see. Does anybody have a question or two?
treating some of their customers unfairly. If that word got out, Sprint would change its behavior pretty quickly. And this is, we the people are waking up to the fact that we actually have a lot of power in how we band together collectively. And that really is going to start influencing corporate behavior.
Excellent. Thank you for those questions. So we're going to wrap this segment up. Please take advantage of talking to John. We're going to break right now. Take advantage of talking to John and follow up with him and any one-on-one. He gave you his website for his book and the free excerpts, and I really encourage you to take advantage of that. So we are